Welcome to Tuesday Tea Time. I am filming in a slightly different place because I am hanging out with the horses while they eat hay. I got this new hay hut a couple of weeks ago, and this is one of my favorite things to do. I love it. I get to sit here right in the middle. You can see Ari is eating over there. And Ocasio is not sure if he gets to join us yet. What I'm doing is kind of strange. This is something I used to do with my mares all the time. I would sit and they would stick their head in the window and eat hay next to me. I haven't done a lot of it with the stallions. It just seemed like it was a lot to ask of them somehow, sitting on their food. So you can see that, I'm sitting on the hay. We have a big net over it. This bunch of hay is a little bit eaten down, so it's really warm and cozy, and you can see my house right out through the window there. So I put the hay hut right next to my house so that I can look out the window and I can see the horses eating, and it's just a really nice social place. And the reason I like it is, well, I've talked about this before, there's lots of reasons, but the way they stick their heads in the windows, Ocasio there, he's going to get some warning if Ari's going to chase him away. Ari has to back up first before he pushes Ocasio. And that effort it takes to back out of the hay hut before chasing another horse off, I think it leads to a lot of sort of really nice interactions with them. I think Ocasio is almost as worried about me sitting in here as he is about being chased off by Ari. And it may take him a little while to come over and eat. Maybe he will, maybe he won't, I don't know. But I thought I would share with you this space. My house is right there. I have the hay hut here. When we get a new hay delivery, we just tip it over, we put the hay inside and tip it back down, and the net goes over the hay so they can't pull too much out the windows. Hi, Alice. Now, today, I thought I wanted to talk a little bit about this concept I was reading about that I love. Hi, Florentine. Welcome to Tea Time. I read about this idea and I thought, yes, that absolutely resonates with me. It makes a lot of sense. And that is this idea of exploring or exploiting. So right now I am exploiting a situation that I've done in the past that brings me a lot of joy. And that is to sit with the horses while they eat. I'm in this hay hut, so I'm undercover. I can be out here rain or shine. If it's sunny, it's nice and shady in here. And the horses, there's Ari, are doing something they love. And I get to share time with them in this space where they can leave me if they'd like, or they can stay if they'd like. And it's just a really fun way that's different to spend time with them. But before I first tried this, before I had a hay hut, before I'd ever sat in one, there had to be a phase of exploration where you try something you've never done before. And so Atlas is certainly, he's had me in here a couple of times, but he's never had me filming tea time before. So he's not sure it's a good idea. And he's doing a lot of advance and retreat, where he comes in to get a bite of hay and then he pulls his head out and he thinks about it for a little while and then he comes back in to get another bite of hay. So he's exploring the idea. I already know I love this, so I'm exploiting this idea. Atlas is not sure, so he's trying it, and he's trying it in little bits where he comes in, he takes a bite, he steps out, he thinks about it, and then he does it again. Ocasio, let's see if you can see him here. He's right there. Ocasio is not even sure he wants to explore this. This seems really too much for him. Elsa is sitting on the food. She's talking to her phone. She's being really strange. And Ocasio is only willing to explore this from a distance. So this is the way that this works is all of us, every living being, we want to be more comfortable, we want to be more joyful, and we have to explore to figure out which things bring comfort and joy. And if you're like Ocasio, you're really not sure you want to explore that. That might be too dangerous. It might be too scary. Maybe we'll just watch it for a long time. And maybe that's all the exploration he's willing to do right now. Ari, on the other hand, is fully exploiting the situation. It took him 2 seconds to explore it, realize it was good. He's happy to hang out with me. So we have 3 sort of very different temperaments. Atlas has to advance and retreat a lot. He's still in the exploring stage. Ari over here is fully in the exploitation phase. He likes sitting here, eating hay with me. He has no problem with this situation. His ears are moving a lot. He's really fully enjoying the whole experience. And Ocasio, he's not even ready to explore it yet. Maybe just with his mind, maybe thinking about it from a distance. So he's going to stand back there and process this for a while. And that's pretty much where my 3 boys are at. It takes Ocasio a while before he is ready to try something new. And I'm thrilled that Ari is at a point where he is engaging more and he is diving right in and he's coming to see me. So there's a lot of really positive stuff about what's going on with Ari. Let's see if I can turn this around here. Ah, there we go. So Ari's eating here next to me. Oh, I can hear Ocasio coming up a little bit. And Ari wasn't sure that was okay. So he pinned his ears a little bit, he shook his head, and Ocasio backed off. So that tells you one of the reasons Ocasio may not be exploring is because he's not sure he's allowed to. He's not sure Ari's going to let him in. And, you know, this is something that I've thought about a lot. Like, how much is it okay for horses to dominate each other? You know, Ari's definitely the boss here. And Ocasio is submissive. But I will tell you, when I watch them play, Ocasio is far more consistently aggressive than Ari is. And he does a lot of attacking. And it's really interesting to me that even though he's not the dominant one, he is the more difficult of the 2. So, you know, maybe it's okay for Ari to dominate the hay a little bit, to have a little bit more restriction on whether he shares food or not with Ocasio, if Ocasio is the one that tends to be more aggressive. Hi, Ari. You're not sure you want to share, huh? He could come in next to me. Look at that. There we go. And so now Ocasio's going to do that exploring thing where he puts his head in, he takes a bite, he retreats. He's going to explore, he's going to see, is this situation something that brings me comfort or brings me joy? Or is this situation something that I want to avoid? And I think this exploring process is really interesting for us horse trainers to consider. When they're in this exploring phase, they're deciding whether this is a situation I want to exploit in the future. Is this something that I want to do again? And, you know, when I watch it sort of happen naturally, there's a lot of testing that goes on, and different horses like different things. And Ocasio is trying to decide whether it's safe enough to come up, and he decides ultimately, nope, he's going to go somewhere else. Now, just so you know, I do have 2 hay huts. I have another hay hut around the other side of the arena that they can go to. So Ocasio does not have to be here with the group. If he decides that he would rather exploit the situation with the other hay hut where he can go eat and there's a little bit more space and he doesn't have to be as close to the other horses, that's fine too. So this idea of exploit versus explore, I think that horses get really set in their ways and they want to do the same thing all the time that they know is comfortable. And there's nothing wrong with that if it's something the human appreciates also. However, when we are building that, we are in the exploring phase. And in the exploring phase, so here's Atlas. He's not pulling his head out nearly as much anymore. Big deep breath from him. Ears are moving. He's starting to exploit this situation and really enjoy it because he's decided it's comfortable. Now, Cassio here is not sure whether he is brave enough to put his head in the window. He's thinking about it. He's still in the exploring phase. Hey, bud. I'm not going to make any sudden movements because I kind of want to reinforce him for being exploratory. I want to reinforce him for being willing to try it, being willing to stick his head in next to me when I'm talking. And, you know, I'm sort of dragging this tea time on a little bit just because it's interesting watching this develop for Ocasio. I would like him to get comfortable enough where he decides this situation that he explored brings enough comfort and enough interest and enough enjoyment that it's worth repeating. Huh, Cassio. But he has to go through the exploratory phase first. And, you know, I can reinforce it by making sure that I don't make any sudden movements or loud noises. I can reinforce it by just being in harmony with him as he explores. There's lots of ways to reinforce it. So those are my thoughts for today. When you're spending time with your horses, think about, is this something they're exploring because they're trying to decide if this is an action or a place that brings comfort and joy? Or are they exploiting that fact where they go, I know I always feel comfort and joy when I come to this place. So I'm hoping Ocasio's going to realize that when I'm filming tea time, he can stick his head in the hay hut, he can eat hay right next to me, and that he will link that and associate it with comfort and joy, and then know that he can exploit that situation anytime in the future. I think a really good quality of life is some balance between exploit and explore, and hopefully we find that balance for everybody. I'll give you a little view here of, we've got Ari and Atlas. They're a little bit more brave since I started today. And then behind me, we have Ocasio. Still just exploring the idea, trying to decide if this is safe enough. So I'm going to leave you with that thought today. Let me know if there's any topics you would like me to discuss in future tea times. I'm building a list. I try and talk about something that has some tangible story or that I can show in some way. But I really like all the suggestions you guys give me. I go over my list every week and I see if there's something on the list that I can show in some real tangible way. Yeah, the munching sounds are great. I agree. Thank you, Cindy. Have a wonderful day wherever you are. And this is happy tea time for us. Oh, I moved my tea mug. That was too much for Ocasio. All right, I'll have to sit here for a little bit longer, but he'll come back. He just was a little shy when I moved my tea. So, happy Tuesday. Enjoy your day, and I will see you next week.